Okay. Prabhu. Somebody is keep calling me, Prabhu. Just 1 second, okay, Prabhu? Prabhu, can you hear me, right, Prabhu?
I can hear you.
Okay, Prabhu. Should we get started, Prabhu?
Yeah.
Okay. Because, okay, let's start with the prayer. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Agnanadimindasya Gnananjana Salakaya Chaksurulmidam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namah Sri Chaitanya Manopistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadamayam Dadati Sapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapada Kamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sahagana Raghunathavitamsa Radhavaitam Saha Prabhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakamitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarupyasya Kripa Sindhu Bhavesya Cha Patitanam Paunebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Nama Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chevam Narottamam Devi Saraswati Vyasam Tapo tato janam udhirate nashtaprayesu abhadresu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama sloke bhaktir bhavati naisike. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto number 3, chapter number 24, enunciation of Kardam Muni, and verse number 13. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Itavaste evam surusara karya pitri putrakyaha badam badamitya anu manyata gaurvene guru vachaha. Word to word translation. Itavati, to this extent, eva, exactly, suru susa, service, karya, on to, be rendered, pitri, to the father, putra kaha, by the son, bandham iti, accepting, yes sir, anumanyate, he should obey, guru vena, with the due deference, guru, of the guru, vachaha, command. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Srila Prabhupada. Son ought to render service to their father exactly to this extent. One should obey the command of his father or spiritual master with due deference, saying, Yes, sir. Purport. Two words in this verse are very important. One word is Pitri and another word is Guru. The son or disciple should accept the word of his spiritual master and father without hesitation. Whatever the father and the spiritual master orders should be taken without argument. Yes. There should be no instance in which the disciple or the son says, "This is not correct. I cannot carry it out." When he says that, he is fallen. The father and the spiritual master are on the same platform because the spiritual master is a second father. The higher classes are called Dijiva, Vija, twice born. Whenever there is a question of birth, there must be a father. The first father is made possible by the actual father. Sorry, the first birth is made possible by the actual father, and the second birth is made possible by the spiritual master. Sometimes the father and the spiritual master may be the same, and sometimes they are different men. In any case, the order of the father or the order of the spiritual master must be carried out without hesitation, with an immediate yes. There should be no argument. That is real service to the father and to the spiritual master. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has stated that the order of the spiritual master is the life and soul of the disciple. As a man cannot separate his life from his body, a disciple cannot separate the order of the spiritual master from his life. If a disciple follows the instruction of the spiritual master in that way, he is sure to become perfect. This is confirmed in the Upanishad. The import of Vedic instruction is revealed automatically only to one who has implicit faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead and in his spiritual master. One may be materially considered an illiterate man, but if he has faith in the spiritual master as well as in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then the meaning of scripture revelation is immediately manifested before him. Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Definitely, this verse, when I was reading, and the purport as well as translation was very, very eye-opening at one point, and also at one point very, very confusing. And I felt it to be very, very complex because, of course, of my conditioned nature of my soul and my mind. I I I I cannot blindly believe in anything or blindly have a faith either in a spiritual master or my father. And so I was not sure what I was going to talk, and Lakshmikant Prabhu reminded me a couple of days ago, so that gave me time to prepare, or at least for myself. Again, all this I'm saying and I'm sharing with you is for myself, and I hope by sharing what I have learned, I can implement it myself, and hopefully you guys can all help me and correct me in my spiritual journey. So I that's my nature, that I cannot believe anything blindly, And once an example in my life is definitely when I moved to US. My father wanted me to join his business, and he was in the motor industry back then. And I felt like I don't know what I'm going to do in the motor industry. I had a master degree in chemical engineering and chemistry, and I don't know how I was going to apply all that I learned. And my father was the one who kind of forced me to go to master. I wanted to join Indian Air Force back in the day, and couldn't join it at time because my father didn't want me to. So I was listening to him, and then he asked me to complete my master. And after I finished my master, I thought I would join in Indian Air Force. At that point, I was too old for the program I wanted to join. So I was very disappointed. And then when he asked me to join his business, I was very much upset. And I told him no, and he was also upset with me and got very angry. I got very angry at him. And at one point, I left his home and was moved to Houston to find a job in a chemical industry, because Houston was a hub for chemical industry. Anyway, long story short, definitely I went through a rough struggle. I'm still in the chemical industry, but anyway, if I would have listened to him and joined his motor business, now this was like almost 25 years ago. Materially, maybe I may have been advanced so much, and his words were that the reason I asked you to master is not to become an employee at somebody's company. He wanted me to start my own business and 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 be employ many people. That was his goal. Anyway, I look at it back now, and I wish I would have listened to him, and my life would be different. Not that I have regrets, any complaint or any issue right now, but I thought my life would be different. So and again, I realized that after reading this verse, that why and then of course we were taught right from bringing up that our father and mother are they are like a representative of God, and they are like one of our gurus, and we should be listen to them, and I always used to listen to them, and now I do too as well. But at this point in my life, I said that okay, I don't want to listen to him, and uh, definitely now I realize that why it is important to listen to your father and of course mother, and also now I have a spiritual master. When I was going through my life challenges, of course, that's when I came in touch with Prabhupada books. And even by reading the books, I cannot believe what I was reading. So I wanted to basically verify and validate what I was reading in the books. So I was going to different ISKCON temple in US and trying to understand that what Prabhupada is saying is are his followers, are his disciples following all those things. It took me close to 9 year of journey to figure out that what was Prabhupada was saying was right, and I think that not believing what I was reading definitely made my faith stronger. After I realized and saw what was going on, is that a lot of these temple I visited and meeting a lot of Prabhupada disciple. And now my faith, I personally think my faith is very strong in Prabhupada and his philosophy and his movement. That I want, I don't think I will be anything can distract me now. That's how I feel. So point I'm trying to convey is definitely uh, here purport is very strong. Means the way I take this is as that father and spiritual master, right? Once again, father, you don't have choice. You by Krishna's mercy, you get what you deserve, and they are your father and mother. And I now I strongly believe that whatever father and mother says is good for you. At some point, you may think it's not right in the short term, but the long term, I think it definitely is for your betterment. Because Krishna has given us the parents based on our needs, current need and future need. So Krishna's plan, I feel, is always perfect plan. It may look like your father or mother may be wrong in what you are trying to tell you or guide you, but I have seen many examples. I just said one example, but in my life where I wish I would have listened to my parents, and I can see my life to be different. But anyway, it's all past now. And same thing, I think spiritual master is one that we can choose. And I was struggling at that point which master to choose, and definitely was praying very desperately to Krishna and Prabhupada. And that's when I got online touch with Radha Swami Maharaj back in 2014, and it was interesting journey then as well. And definitely, I had no idea Radha Swami at that point was connected with ISKCON and things like that. But his teaching were all very same as what I was reading in Prabhupada books, And then eventually I found out who he was, and he's connected to ISKCON, and he's one of the sannyasi in ISKCON Parampara. So that made me further my faith in ISKCON to be very strong, and that's when I formally started going to ISKCON temple in Tawaco, New Jersey, and serving there and learning from the devotees and pujaris there. And then what I'm trying to say here is spiritual master also comes in your life because of Krishna's mercy, and of course prayers from devotees and your good karma and behavior. And once you have accepted spiritual master, he's no different than your father and the representative of Krishna. So his instruction are also same as instruction of Krishna's, and so I also learned that over the time, and definitely I'm trying my best to follow instruction of spiritual master as well as Prabhupada to further grow in Krishna consciousness. And it is definitely, for me, it's a very pleasant experience. And other thing I want to say is spiritual master also come because of Krishna's mercy. So sometime when spiritual master may say things that may not go very well with me, and I would try to verify his words or things by doing search or reading Prabhupada books, and sometimes may feel difficult, but I think spiritual master word has to be followed as best and as hard as you can, because as it said here in the last sentence, that one may be materially considered illiterate man, but if he has faith in the spiritual master as well as in Supreme Godhead, then meaning of scripture revelation is immediately manifested before him. And in the previous verse, where Lord Brahma was uh, glorifying Kardam Muni, he was saying that we are all imperfect. We all have four imperfection. We have all cheating tendency. None of our senses are perfect. We can easily be manipulated. And the fourth one I'm forgetting. But if you follow instruction of spiritual master, then you can overcome those weaknesses and can become realized and become maybe not perfect, but close to perfect. So it is very important for us to follow the instruction of spiritual master and also our father, because both are given as a special gift to us in our life by Lord Himself and by the mercy of devotees like Prabhupada. And at time, it may sound difficult to follow the instruction, but and that's what I used to always struggle with Prabhupada's instruction as well as my Guru Maharaj instruction, and I always used to not doubt, but kind of verify. And every time I have tried to do search, either of course by talking to my mentor or by reading Prabhupada books or going online on Google, I have always realized that it to be true and best for myself. So that is what I'm trying to do myself, and definitely I encourage all of you who are online listening to me. Please, if you see me deviating from my Guru Maharaj instruction or Prabhupada instruction, please definitely stop me and correct me, because I know that's the only way to make a progress in Krishna consciousness journey. Otherwise, in this material world, it is very easy to fall down and easy to commit bad karma or sinful activities. It's every moment I feel like I'm so vulnerable to doing something bad. And if I don't have the association of the devotees and my Guru Maharaj and also Prabhupada books, it's very easy to fall down. So this is again, this is the first time I was reading this verse and the purport, and I was trying to hear what other advanced devotees has to say, and to me, I find this verse to be so powerful and a sense of my spiritual journey, that if I stick to this and constantly follow what is written on this purport, that will help me become a better person, a better human being, and eventually, hopefully, with all your prayers and mercy, a better person and a better devotee. So that is what I wanted to say today. Of course, if I have said anything wrong or I have missed anything, or please feel free to provide your comment, feedback, and correction. Looks like we still have about 8 minutes, so I request you to please provide your comment, feedback, or correction any.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Then with Pranam Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yes, Dhanvattam. Jai Shri
Then
Prabhupada ki jai.
thank you for the very nice class, and it's a very amazing verse. I was curious if your sons are listening to this verse?
Not right now. One of them is left for the school, and another one is trying to get ready to go to school.
Yes. So yes, very relevant verse for all of us. I was just thinking, Prabhu, that maybe the only kind of not that um, the instruction of following the Father is perfect. It's absolute. So in the sense that if uh, the instruction of the Father is in resonates with the instruction of the Supreme Father, Krishna, then of course, or it's not in conflict with it, then one follows it. But in the case that Krishna, being our Supreme Father, if his instruction is different than one's physical father's instruction, then one can choose. One should choose to follow Krishna's instructions. But in either case, one is always following the father's instructions. So, like, because many people in our movement, they don't come from Vedic families, or they don't come from a background where their father may be telling them to smoke or drink. So this instruction is always true, but the only time I mean, the way of fulfilling it is to first follow the Supreme Father's instructions, and then also follow the physical father's instructions. Just like I was thinking, an example is like the when and this is of course a very elevated level, but the metaphor is there that when the gopis leave their husbands and they go to Krishna, then Krishna tells them that you should it's not correct according to karma to leave your husband, and they tell him that we are not leaving our husband, we are accepting the supreme husband. So because they accepted Krishna, therefore there is no mistake in it. So the only instance one can disobey the father's instructions is if they're following Krishna's instructions, which may at that time, if at that time they're in conflict.
Very, very good point, and thank you for clarifying that. Yes, definitely.
Yes. And sometimes we also find like the spiritual master's instructions may be in conflict with the father's instructions. So then one has to choose. But we are all fortunate, I think, the people on this call, we all have, pious families and everything. So we don't face that problem. But yeah.
Yes, yes. I think
Hare
somebody else was trying to say
Krishna.
something. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept mine too.
I had a question on Gopal Hari Prabhu's explanation that when you are immature or as a child, you don't know, like Krishna's instructions are going to come through someone. And then when you are being raised as a child, you are taught to follow your parents, right, Prabhuji? So at that point, you are going to try and do what your parents are trying to tell you, right? How would you know otherwise that Krishna's instructions are different than your parents? Like, I don't know if I'm framing it right.
Means definitely when you are growing and when you are not completely mature, definitely it's difficult to understand instruction. To me, for at least I'm speaking for myself, to understand instruction coming from your father or your teacher or your or your guru or even if you are connected to Krishna, instruction of Krishna, it's very difficult. Again, at least for me, I always used to follow what my heart, at least I thought my heart was telling. In some cases, it was my mind taking me, but it is definitely difficult. But I see this way, no matter which instruction you followed at that point, will lead you to some point and some conclusion, and maybe if you may realize that what you followed was right, or later on you realize what you followed was wrong. Either case, you are learning a lesson, you are learning something, and if you are true to yourself, you are reflecting on yourself truly, then definitely you will at least for my case, I was getting a lot of inspiration from within that that I did a wrong, I did a mistake, and definitely now only option for me is to correct and course correct. And of course, I cannot change my past, but at least I can change what I'm doing now and what I'll do in the future. So it is not always going to be that you will always get the right instruction and you will always follow the right instruction, because we are all going to be in a situation where we'll make a mistakes. But I have seen that at some point Krishna will make you realize that you made a mistake, and then at that point you have to be true to yourself and you have to accept your mistake and try to, of course, ask for forgiveness or course correct it, whatever it may be. We have to be bold enough and honest enough when we realize that we chose the wrong path or we followed the wrong instruction. We have to realize it, accept it, and definitely ask for forgiveness and try to correct it, so you don't do the same mistake again or follow. So that is how I have taken a lot of the mistake I have made. Is I have tried to, of course, forgive myself and try to same thing when my children do mistake. I try to be very open minded and and try to put myself in their shoes and also compare what I was doing at when I was at their age. Because doing mistake, it's not end of all. It's not the end of anything. We all do mistakes, and we will continue to do mistakes. It's very important to learn from our mistake, and way that it helps me is definitely every night before I go to bed, I try to look at my day, how it went, what I did that was not good, or what I did was good. What can I do different tomorrow? That's how I reflect on my day. I don't know, Kiranmalaji, am I answering your question or not, but I think we what it's practice is and experience are the best teacher. You have to practice makes man perfect, and then experience is the best teacher. So you have to definitely learn from your mistake and try to realize what can be done differently.
Sure, Prabhuji.
Anybody wants to say, please add.
Maybe I can add that that's why the father must always be followed. So if we don't have, like you're saying, a child doesn't have the knowledge of Krishna's instructions, then they must follow the father's instructions, and even as an adult. But then if one has the knowledge of Krishna's instructions, and Krishna in the Gita is saying, surrender unto me, but let's say the father's stopping that, like in the case of Prahlad Maharaj, which is an extreme example, then one can follow the Supreme Father. But in either case, we don't have the easy way out. We can't just follow our own mind. We must follow either Krishna, and if we don't have that, then we follow our father, and vice versa. But also in the case of Prahlad Maharaj, the point Prabhupada makes is that he was, even though his father was a demon, he was never disrespectful to his father. So that option we don't have, to be disrespectful or offensive towards them, because he was not following his father's instructions, but he also never disrespected him.
Yeah, very, very, very good point. Any other comments or addition? And Gopal Prabhu, I think you signed in as a Prem Kisan, or I don't know. I know I saw a name Prem Kisan Patel. I know I don't think it was my son, but
No,
It may be your wife, maybe.
oh, my wife. Yeah, it's possible. Anyway, thank you everyone for joining, and thank you for sharing your time and your comments and questions. I greatly appreciate it. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vanchakalparupyasya kripa sindhu bhavete patitanam pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namo. Ananda Koti Vaishnavinda ki jai. You all have a blessed and Krishna conscious day. Thank you and Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I'm not able to end, Prabhu. I'll end it.
Yeah, okay, bro.